Everybody, thank you very much for coming back tonight for another episode here at the Pigsty. Long awaited interview. I know it's been around for a while and people have been bugging at him, and been very, very lucky enough to have Dave on tonight. Before we go any further, if I can just say, if only if you can, there's a link in the description for We GoFundMe. I'm sure you've heard what we're doing for Mandas at the minute, so it's in the description. Dave's link's in the description, and other than that, yeah, Dave, do a quick introduction, like nobody fucking knows who you are.
I'm not convinced I know who I am. I am Dave. I like to argue with people. And I do an annoying quiz. That pretty much sums my entire life up.
That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that Dave fucking knows the layout that we have here, and yeah, so I don't know, we'll jump straight into it, and yeah, Dave, Critical Cripple. For those that don't know, where'd the name come from?
Where'd the name come from?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I created a Twitter account in about 2016 due to events. And I wanted a name that conservatives would have a problem saying, and it worked.
Do they?
Oh yeah, they hate it. They absolutely hate calling me cripple. It is fantastic.
Good.
And that was you, and basically that was to troll Trump. And when I had to create a new YouTube account that I could actually upload videos to that wasn't my YouTube account, I tried to come up with a unique name and ended up sticking with Critical Cripple because it was easy and people knew me as Critical Cripple on Twitter.
10,000 strong now, I think it is, yeah? 16,000 followers on Twitter. Oh, excuse me. Very proud of that.
So, making a cunt of us already, are you, Dave?
Pardon, man?
I quite like my
I said he's making a cunt of us already, isn't he?
Well, the progression from Twitter to YouTube, you came into the community. Do you remember the first channel that caught your attention, or you're a smart guy, you probably knew of Aaron and Matt Delahunty and stuff before the community, like, but
do you want to? I can give you some weird things. Okay, Kaz knew about Dark Matter and Non-Stamp Collector a long time before I did. She used to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
I discovered AXP, which seems to be the way most people end up in here.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to beat people up tonight to find out how I got. I have no clue how I got from AXP to purple, but somehow I did, and I think it's either spooky or nerdy.
Probably.
How you got introduced to perps, you mean?
Yeah.
Like their channel?
Yeah.
I would say that.
Because
Spooky has a bad habit of doing that.
Yeah. I blame Spooky. He said something. He said something specific. He said something specific, which I can tell you. I doubt it was me though. But if you want to mention how great I am, that's fine.
When did he say this?
When I was beating him up earlier to find out if it was him.
Okay. All right. Well, it's all your fault, Spooky. You were like the other grumpy old man of our group.
So then you moved on.
Would you count Stool as one of them?
No. Stool's a Twitter person.
Stool's
okay.
one of a kind in the most
original. Stool's an anomaly, you know.
The one that breaks the rules, so to speak, yeah. So you know for a fact then you went from AXP to purple, and from purple everywhere else.
To Diana, Jen, and then those out from there. I can't work out quite how I found you. That was probably Spooky.
Could have been Spooky. I think we've had this.
Well, it should have been no, I was gonna say Daily Atheist Morning Show, whatever the fuck.
No. Dave definitely brought him over. Definitely Dave.
I mean, I promoted Daily Atheist. I promoted massively early on.
Like we've had this discussion before. We think it was a New Year's Eve stream 2020. No, 19 going into 20. Like.
Well, that's when I first came on, but I was around before that.
Yeah.
I can tell you the first time I got on camera, and that was really nervous as all hell. Jen persuades me to. I eventually come on the stream, and a minute after I come on the stream, she leaves.
And who else is there?
I don't remember. I don't even know. I'm guessing it was Purple's channel. So it was a panel.
Yeah, you weren't left on your own.
No. But I wasn't left with anyone I particularly had any conversation with outside of chatting.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose would be the issue. So I don't really know, but that was a right oddity at the time. And then I did frequent all of Purple streams, all of Diana's streams, and then I got stuck with you.
Why?
At some point along, why? Because as much as I enjoyed just the random panels, it was more focused.
Not gonna lie, that shit made me laugh pretty loud. Sorry.
What particular point made you laugh, Pat?
Then I got stuck with you. Didn't we all?
Why though?
Why did I get stuck with you?
Uh-huh.
Because
why
the
did you hang
community
about? Why are you still here 14 months later? Like,
because it's interesting. It's mostly fun.
What do you mean mostly?
Mostly
I'm here.
You're here. There's occasionally tits.
Yeah, yours.
I haven't had the mankini on in a while.
I've seen Dave's tits and fucking glorious. Okay.
I think most of us.
Sorry, I'm doing the best. I'm doing the best with light, but it's unfortunately surely stormy outside, so there's only so much I can get out of it. I apologize.
No, it's fine, Pat. We all understand at the minute. Like.
So I ended up here, and then we ended, and then because you got me arguing with people. I mean, I argue with people on Twitter all the time.
Yeah,
but it's very different. It's a very different argument on Twitter, and my aims on Twitter are very different. My aims on Twitter are always to be a counter narrative. When arseholes stand up and say, "This is the truth," yeah, I don't care whether I'm telling the truth or I'm bull. My response is to turn up and say, "You're talking bullshit."
Yeah.
To offer a counter so that so someone that looks at that's not going to see, oh well, everyone agrees with him. But then you got me onto YouTube, arguing with people.
What do you mean?
Do you know what?
Robbie
How much
got you onto YouTube?
Robbie did? No, but I mean, I came on and chatted with people before.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie got me doing stuff, and I'm just wondering how much I can blame Robbie for that or Richard for that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, it's cool. There is a reason that there's a blame MathPig hashtag.
Yeah, because everything was used to go wrong and people would ask me for help and I hadn't fucking learnt everything yet. So everyone feel that it was my fault.
Do not ruin my joke, okay? I guess I'm in charge now.
Mm-hmm.
So, before he comes back, tell everyone who you love more. Just kidding. I'm kidding. No, like honestly, it wouldn't. This wouldn't be home, and this wouldn't be family without you, Dave. Like, I can't imagine this community without you. I can't imagine my life without you. Like, there's this. Like, I was talking to somebody today about this. Actually, there's like literally probably 3 people in the world other than Angel that I trust, and yeah.
You trust me? You fucking
I don't trust the words that come out of your mouth because you're a blight fucking liar and I know it. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. He lies just to fuck with people, especially me. But no, I would trust you with my life. I would trust you with Angel's life. You, your family. Yeah. So, just saying. Why are you laughing at that? Fuck off.
Not laughing.
Not you, him. Are you laughing too, Rob? That's fine.
I'm just waiting for my turn to speak.
You left.
Does Dave perform a ball check before going live? No, perhaps I should. Right. Okay. So, that you got me arguing. We got back to the thing here. Right. You got me arguing. Okay. Basically, you infuriated me enough by the people you talked to that I started arguing with people and started coming into after shows and arguing with people, and then arguing with people, and then arguing with people, and more arguing with people. And then lockdown happened. And people were very, very bored. So I started a quiz.
You put us through actual fucking torment because you're kind of a sadistic prick. 8:30 in the morning every fucking day. Just saying.
But it goes to show what sort of a person Dave is, and that's the thing I sort of wanted to have a wee bit deeper into. Is everybody knows Dave from YouTube? Everybody knows that he is the man on the ball that does the quiz. You know. They know that he does stuff behind the scenes and things like that. We're running Dave's script now at the minute. Lots of channels are 10, maybe 15 channels, a couple of big names too using it. You know, it's something that he gives away for free. Dave's personality is what I want to delve into a wee bit here. And, you know, why do you do the things that you do, Dave? Like, it's, you know, you've always been this sort of person. I doubt very much that the online personality that we meet, that I know, that Manda knows, is different from the real life personality. I think a few of us have been lucky enough to actually get to know you. And behind the scenes, there's this, that, and the other and stuff like that. And we have conversations. And I do think that, you know, our principles align. The things that we stand for align. The reasons that we're doing what we're doing align with each other. You know, I think one of the reasons that you have happened to stay around, and all the bullshit aside, with the fun and, you know, bit of crack and the laughing and the arguing and that, is that we both do have similar goals. We both have a direction that we're aiming for with what we're doing.
Yes.
Don't just fucking say yes to the long paragraph. Come on.
I got stuck when I got that nerd he says, where Dave doesn't stand for anything, he bounces.
No,
I think
Dave's meditate though. You just vomit up all these emotions and feelings and thoughts, and he gives you a fucking like emoji, and not even like an actual emoji, like the old school like semicolon. It's just fucking ridiculous. Anyway, go ahead.
Don't like taking my hands off the keyboard is the issue. You can't use those emojis without using your mouse.
Okay.
Mice are horrible.
So, Dave, aligning all of that. Thanks, Manda. Yes.
I at the end of the day, you're right. The secular, the non-religious community sucks. Because there is no nexus. And I find, as much as I don't think I will ever be a massive part of anything, I think if I can waste some time and try and make that a bit better, especially if I can find other people that are willing to put in effort and support them, I think that's what I can do. Given how completely and utterly fucking broken I am, go down the route of doing what I can where I can.
What do you?
Can you like expand on that when you say broken, please?
No.
Yeah,
I can do. I mean, I'm riddled with osteoarthritis. You
don't have to get into stuff. I just wanted, for you to say either, physical or mental.
Well, what's relevant is functionality. From a functionality point of view, I can walk a little bit before I need to rest, not very far. Anything movement exhausts me. And the drugs I am on completely knock me out. Mm-hmm. So I have what is limited function, basically what you would call very limited functioning brain. That's the best way to put it. So I basically I can go through periods like this where I can seem totally normal, but I have to lie down after this. I have to. I call it dying because I go in die, because that's all I can do. I don't have the brain capacity to do anything else. It is basically all-encompassing pain or painkillers, and that's got worse. But it's having something like the community, having things you can work towards is a distraction. And distractions seem to be the best thing for pain.
To that.
But so the reason you help so much is because it's excruciating to live.
It's a distraction. No, I think I would help. I don't know. I ask myself, and I have this conversation. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't broken. I am somebody who had energy. I am somebody who was very successful. At the point at which I started breaking down, I was being listed as technical directors on companies that were going to be listed on the stock market. It's not that I think it's not that I wasn't interested in the same things. I just think I would have ended up doing more physical stuff. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time coding then, but I didn't tend to. If I was going to get involved with activism, I think it would have been something.
A local community centre, a local club, something like that, more so rather than the online community. The online community came out of the fact that I can't get up off my seat, so the computer's there.
Yeah. Yes. And I don't regret that. I think it would be a mistake. I like this. I like this community. I mean, they're a bunch of arseholes some of the time, but generally, generally I like it, and I wouldn't not want it. But I have to take that into the consideration of the fact that if I wasn't broken, I probably wouldn't be here.
There's no harm in saying that. It's just a matter of fact. Like.
You know, it's.
I don't know. I think considering, how much you would have been online anyway, do you think there's a possibility you would have done both?
It's not impossible, especially given that I code. And if I could code like I used to, I mean, you sit here, over and over again, people come to me and go, why don't you just make a new StreamYards altogether? Makes sense, right? Okay.
I've said that a couple of times.
I know what that would entail. I know what that would entail.
Exactly.
And that is eminently doable. And I can sit there and I would turn around and say, I could knock that up, 10 years ago. With today's technology, my ability 10 years ago, I could have knocked something up in 6 to 8 weeks. Okay? Okay. Right. Now, that wouldn't have been the same as StreamYards, but it would have done what we needed it to do in a much better fashion. My ability to do that now is just gone. Okay, the best I can do now is poke at code. I completely forgot what the question was, so that's where I ended up there.
Why are you here and all this? You hung about, your goals are the same, we both align, and you're only here because you're sick.
Yes.
Don't call it sick.
As you said, Dave, you have that energy. And, as much as energy comes from the ability to run up and down the stairs, the personality has the energy. It's the drive that's there to do something. Your personality wants to do something, your legs just won't let you, but you still want to do something, so you're here. It's why you're so involved. It's why you do what you do. Taking that to its conclusion, like I know the answer to this from my point of view, and the answer is I haven't got a fucking clue, but what are you aiming for? Like, we've had these discussions. When I say this to you, take everything into account and all the details we've talked about before that you can remember. But you know,
what am I
we're
aiming
talking
for
about
is make things better. That's it. Okay. Mostly, I can see. Occasionally, I can see things that can happen, and I tell those to people. And if I think I can do something, I will say I can do this. But mostly, it's about identifying what other people are willing to do and trying to help them do it.
Mm-hmm.
To turn around and say, "Go on."
Can I just point out that, like, this? Did you guys hear that? As much of a cunt that Dave can be, he just admitted that he doesn't do this, for himself. Like, his literal first thought is, there's someplace I can do better, so I will do it. That's one of the reasons that we love Dave so much. Just saying. Didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought. Sorry.
Dave, you've ruined him now. He's not going to know what he's talking about.
No, I have no idea what we're talking about now.
No, but honestly, how many of us can get on here and when asked this question from Robbie go, because there's something I could do for other people? Like, none, really. And that's
the problem is you have to have it. The problem you've got is, like, that sounds nice. Apart from the fact that you have to have this view on the world that it is completely fucking broken.
If you have any intelligence whatsoever, you know that this world is completely fucking broken.
Right. But the problem is you then have to accept that you can't fix it. And that's the worst thing. And then you just look for little pieces that you can do. And some of that is just making some person's day nicer.
No, you can't. You can't fix the world, but there are so many people in this community. There's even just us alone that, God, where the fuck would we be without you? Like,
you'd have got a lot more sleep.
I would have fucking a year ago. Now, cool. Like, I miss it. I mean, honestly, as much as I bitch and moan about Dave making me get up every fucking day for an 8:30 stream, which means I have to be like put together before it and all. I guess, like, the cat's out of the bag on how fucked my life has been for the past few years, and having that, and having this community to be with every day, that like kept my head above water more than you can know. So, yeah.
Keep putting us off trail, honey. Keep
Follow
it on. Follow it on. You're not very good at the ghosting thing.
Ask a question.
Yeah, keep the conversation going.
Kinks,
What?
What are your kinks?
I don't have any kinks.
Bullshit.
Right, well, that's that right. There's something I wanted to lean into, right? As everybody knows, we all have a bit of crack and a bit of fun and all the rest of it. But Dave would be a very outspoken advocate for it, and proud of it, and no reason, not to be or anything. But there has to be stories there, Dave. There has to be reasons behind that. There has to be a development behind that. Is that growing up living on a beach, everybody ends up in the butt plugs? No?
I grew up very, very secluded area. The fact that I was attracted to guys, I'd never met anyone else that was attracted to guys until I went to university. Mm-hmm. Or if I did, I didn't know. But I knew from a very early age that I really fancied guys as well as girls. So any of my kinks, I read a lot. I read a lot. I don't know. Where your mind takes you when you let it wander. I let it wander in lots of directions, both sexually and non-sexually. Mm-hmm. I take logical leaps. I don't know. I see the world. I've seen very few people that say that they see how things work in their mind is the same as mine. Because I don't see in pictures. I don't see in words. I see kind of like in networks. Mm-hmm. And how things all link together and what matters. And Ox says he read a lot of Penthouse forums. We didn't have Penthouse forum here. We did have the Forum magazine, which I did read quite a lot of. And apparently Dave likes the rolling motion thing.
You've really
Never
likes to
tried.
spend all his time looking at the chat.
He does.
Yeah. Oh God, that's fucking infuriating. None of you bitches know the glory of the rolling motion thing. So,
No.
It's to be mine only. For the rest of the time.
For the rest of she have to teach someone. She needs to teach me how to do it.
So I'll go get my dildo.
No.
I'm just kidding.
No.
Kidding. Kidding.
But as you said, Dave, it was when you went to university, yeah, sexual awakening out and all the rest of it. University being university.
No, not really. No, not really. I mean, a lot of the stuff had come out before university. I again, things developed, but I don't think there was anything particularly new. Not until I found myself in a. I mean, I ended up in. We started in an open relationship and ended up in a poly relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So we lived in a triad for several years, and that was fun. But again, I don't think there was an awakening at any point. Rather, it was progression.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try this. That was fun. Let's try this. So I don't know. I mean, university was an odd experience for me because we have I don't know how to explain it. We have something called BTECs, which are business created courses that are at college level, not at university level. Okay, so
wait. Because Americans, college and universities interchangeable. You want to explain that?
16 and 17.
Okay.
Right, so at 16, actually, I'd worked out what I wanted to do with my life. This is how bad I was. Okay, I'd worked out at 16 what I wanted, but at 12 what I wanted to do with my life. Okay, and I probably worked out younger than that, to be honest. I wanted to be a programmer.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't care what. Just I wanted to be a programmer. No, I did. I wanted to hack satellites. I wanted to be a hacker. I wanted to be a hacker. Don't ask anything about that. Right. So you go to. So I went to college. So I knew what I wanted to do to get where I needed to go, and the quickest way for me to get to university, the way I wanted to do it, was to do a BTEC instead of A levels, which is what you'd normally do in the UK.
Yeah.
Right. So I did what we called a BTEC National Diploma in Computing, a 2-year intensive course. Okay. Here's the problem. It's the first 2 years of a degree, but it doesn't count for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to university and I had basically done the first almost every course I'd already done. So what I did at university was get pissed a lot, and still got 90 to 100% on every assignment, every exam. Didn't attend anything because, well, I attended some lessons, but only to make sure, I've done this before.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Let's go get pissed. And I pissed a lot of people off. Because
look at me.
Right. But no, because I wasn't. I'd just done it. I wasn't clever.
It's just already been through it.
I just already done it. It's like repeating years. Right. And this is my point. I'm not trying to. Right. But the point is, they just pissed a lot of people off at the time because they tried to come with me. But they didn't have they hadn't already done this stuff, didn't already know it. There's only so much in computing. It's not that difficult a subject. So I spent my time getting drunk a lot, getting stoned a lot, and that's my university experience. And then I had to take a year out. Shit, I forgot about that. So they could snap my leg in half.
Mm-hmm. Hence the cripple.
I was already a cripple. They were trying to make it a bit better. Trying to make the knee joint more stable, so they were going to snap the kneecap in half, and it ended up start happening in 3rd week in September. So it was the year. It was the year ruined. And I came home and I don't know where I went from that. That's when I really got online, actually. Before that, I was only online intermittently. And at that point, I spent that year online talking to people. And that was when I discovered IRC. No. Never again says, what age did you when you first reversed my knees? 11 or 12? Possibly younger. I snapped my kneecap in half, I think at 13. And that's a literal snapping in half. That
Accidental or by the doctor this time?
No, that was accidental. So this was the sexual awakening. So all through that, there was no. I wouldn't say there was no sexual awakening. There was reading and people do this, people do that. Let's try this. Let's try that. Mm-hmm. There you go. It's a very long story to get to that.
When you left university, then you were, as you say, you took your year out.
Yeah.
And did you jump straight into it then? Were you looking for jobs during it, or
no?
Did you just do the I'm a hacker now, not getting paid?
Yeah, pretty much. Then I went back, and then that year I did a load of contracting. And you know what? In all the time I've been paid, I've never been paid as well I was in that year as when I was contracting. I wish I'd worked.
Just freelance. People would come to you, do this.
Yeah. Did a lot of stuff for the NHS and things like that because they didn't understand you still get it now. The people that write software for the NHS don't understand networks. Mm-hmm. People that do networks don't know how to write software. All right, and all these things have got to work together. I mean, basically over and over again, I was sent into GP surgeries because they had multiple sites, and what they were doing is they were sending all their data that was meant for a local network across over ISDN links. So every time all the doctors signed in, everything ground to a halt because all local traffic was being sent out. And it was just because no one that wrote the software had any clue how networks worked. So these were relatively easy things for us to identify and fix. And we were getting paid a fortune for this, and they were so happy.
And easy for you.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it was all. And this is also the time at which I'm going to slightly geek out. I was on the NetKit team for Linux early on. And this was about this time. So I was heavily focused on networking.
You were one of the people that had created Linux. Is that what you're throwing about here?
No, God no. I'm too young for that. But I mean, I knew again. I can name drop. I vaguely knew Alan Cox, who's was one of the main kernel developers. He at one point was considered the number 2 behind Linus. Mm-hmm. Because I went to university in Bristol. He lived just along the coast in Wales. And then there was a load. Again, there was bits, odds and sods all over the place. And then I went to do year in industry as part of my degree, and that was off in Aldershot for a company. I won't tell you the name of the company, but most of that work was for companies like or the Office of Fair Trade. I spent a lot of time in government, writing software for government, and that really opened my eyes as to how shit things were. Because we went in and we wrote this software for the Office of Fair Trade to try and fit around how government accounting works.
Right.
Only it doesn't. Okay, they make it up. Right. What they actually wanted was software that would justify the way they wanted to work, but the way they were meant to work. Right. So it's a piece of software I wrote called Bid Manager.
Bid.
It's called Bid Manager. Right. And what it does, okay, what you put into it, you've got to put into it 3 sets of accounts. Okay, and you put it into it. If you give us this much money, we will do this work. If you give us this much money, extra money, we'll do this much extra work. And if you cut our budget, we'll do this work. Uh-huh. Okay. But the whole way they used it was to justify their budget. That was it. Okay. So they knew they were never going to get the extra one. So they made sure that it was extremely huge away, right? But they never wanted the budget cut, so they made sure it was terrible. It would, if you had any cut to the budget, it would screw everything up. So like I said, it was a way that they were meant. This is how they were meant to account, and then they fucked up. It made it so that it didn't work. Anyway, they tried to sell that into all the government departments. And it occurs to me, it never occurs to me whether or not I'm allowed to say any of that. I don't think I signed anything. Stop laughing. So they tried. So I ended up in different government departments, and how bad the government is run, especially from a software perspective, I will never forget. Then I went. See, I like the name dropping bit. Then I went back to Bristol to do my final year, and again had to drop out because at that point, I don't know why I went to drop out. I had surgery again, but I can't remember which one. So I dropped out.
Stuff like I've had so many fucking surgeries. Like I can't even. I looked at my knee the other day because I've had 6 on my knee alone, and I couldn't tell you which one was which and when. Just couldn't. No.
I can't remember anymore.
You can fucking say that.
I know I don't like to touch my scars; they feel funny. And that's I took the year off. I didn't need to, so I did the surgery, recovered from that, and then went to work for a company called OD2. Which was owned by Peter Gabriel.
Oh, really?
And we were the first legal online music distributor. We were, before Apple, we literally wrote the contracts that enabled Apple to start doing their own stuff. We were the ones that spent 3 years putting contracts in place with the music companies so that they would be willing to sell music online, because not one of them was willing to before us. And at that time, obviously, Napster was going on, and then Kazaa. And that company became Nokia Music. Anyone that's not too young will remember what Nokia is. And that was their internal competition with Apple. Mm-hmm. I then quit that to go work for something that people in the UK might now know. It was called Dreamtext. It's then called Funky Pigeon. Now called Funky Pigeon, I believe, which is owned by W.H. Smiths.
Yeah, it's now Funky Pigeon.
Funky Pigeon?
Yeah.
Like
funkypigeon.com. If it helps, it's a competitor to moonpig.com. And then I went off contracting again. And again, I don't even know what the question was that got me to giving you this spiel of what I was doing.
Just a general, I was waiting to get to some juicy bits, there's some stories that you have. Like, what could you share with us? What hackery things that you have done?
What hackery things that I've done?
Oh! I know one. Just kidding. I mean, I do know one, but I'm not going to say it because it's not bad. It's just funny. Just put it in the side chat.
Oh, that was a fun one. That was a really fun one, and that was really early. Okay, yeah, okay. Again, this was early. This was early. Okay. Does anyone, and they don't in the UK, right? Coke used to run something called Coke Auction, where you clipped drink polls and sent them in, and then they had a site like eBay where you could bid with your sent in Coke things to buy things. We hacked the site, so the auctions always said they were closed on anything that we wanted to win. So we just put a low bid in with our hacking, and it would have our bid there and auction closed, so no one else would bid. So we just got loads of stuff from Coke
for nothing.
For next to nothing. I mean, don't get us wrong, right? We spent about 300 quid on Coke. We spent in thousands of wrinkles. We bought out every superstore in Bristol. Every can of Coke they hold, because they cost us 9p a can of Coke, and even if we'd have paid the full price for everything, it was still a bargain.
Mm-hmm.
And that was see, I wouldn't call that hacking. That was just fucking around. That's
manipulation.
It's not my scope. Oh.
I got my first Sony memory stick from that. I think they were selling it at like 300 quid, and it cost me like 20 quid a Coke.
Anything else? Because I know that story too. Come on, juicier details.
Juicier details. I don't.
See, and all I have is the funky chicken song stuck in my head now, though. Like, so.
Funkypigeon.com.
So, Coke, porn. You hack some porn shit, right? Like, we know that. That's canon.
Come on.
Yes. Yes.
No, I didn't. But I tell you what I did do, which is quite funny. The problem is you're slightly too young to remember, but some people in the chat room, there was a person called Jenny Cam.
Jenny Cam, like
yes,
Cam
she
girl?
was the first to have a camera
girl.
in her. She had a camera in her dorm room, 24/7. I hacked into her university to talk to people that knew her. And the worst thing is I never found anyone that knew her, but I got to know some people. And this was around the same time that I was just generally chatting online. Mm-hmm. So I ended up getting to know quite well someone else that went to the university. I can't think of anything particularly.
Did you hack Jenny Cam or not then, or what?
No, I didn't hack Jenny Cam. I hacked into their university computer. Not Jenny, the universities.
You did tell me a story one time about torturing poor people late at night in the library while they were doing their late night last minute essays.
Oh, that was great fun. Okay, on a university, I installed. Actually, the problem is about this. I understand how some of this stuff looks really bad. It might look really bad now. I was very young and
it doesn't look bad. It does not.
It was mostly fun. It does. Right. I installed something on every university computer that gave me, only me, the ability to remotely control every computer. Okay. Again, these are the things you do when you don't have a course to worry about because you know all the stuff. So you go to the pub and you go home from the pub and you sit and you hack the computers and you set the computers up how you want them. And the worst thing is it's so mundane. The hack that I used was so mundane. And it sounds so cool. I had complete control of every computer. And I would sit in there and watch the drunk people, and they'd come in and try and write things. They'd write emails to people, and I would sit there and I would just add letters. So they'd be typing and they'd be trying to type a word, and you say hello, and every time they tried to type, I just add in a load of letters in the middle. And the more drunk they got, the more drunk they were, the more they would concentrate, and they'd see on the screen they got the word wrong, and they're just there focusing, going. Right, and they go, E, add some letters, L, oh, no!
I have a friend like that who likes to type random shit into our text messages when he knows how stoned I am. It's lovely. Hasn't caught me yet, though. So, a good question, though, what kind of school did you go to that the drunk people are going to the library?
No, we had 24-hour labs.
Yeah, it's a university. It's
okay. It clears it up for me. Thanks. Twat.
Go ahead.
I remember taking I ended up taking my computer in. It was easier. I would take my computer into the university because it was easier because I could copy stuff directly and work from it and work a lot better. I mean, basically fucking hacked their firewall because you couldn't do a load of shit either way. I mean, again, you think about this. The 24-hour labs were shut down for 2 weeks while they fixed this fucking virus that they got. No, where are you getting the virus from?
Was it a virus or was it something you wrote, Dave?
Something I wrote.
Right. What happened?
No, it was the thing that remotely controlled all the computers in the university.
So somebody found out about
Can I
it.
just like?
No,
Can I say that I'm glad?
Shush, man.
Here's the problem. Right. I do fun things that I think are fun, but I don't do them maliciously. So I tell them. I told them. I sent them the details on how I did it. You know.
I said 2 weeks.
And 2 weeks to remove. Yeah, because they don't trust people. They don't trust the random hacker that sends you details of how they hacked your computers.
Red Fang asked a wonderful name, or wonderful question. Hacker name.
I don't remember. I had several that I went by. I don't remember any in particular.
Bullshit.
Something to do with butt plugs, I'm assuming.
No.
Okay.
It wasn't that cool.
No, zero cool.
Zero
no.
cool. Ah,
I mean, university was fun for that. I mean, we had at the university. I had access to a machine. 90% of the wares that were coming into the UK were coming through one server at UWE.
90% of the what?
Wares, pirated software. At that point, was coming through this one machine that we controlled. That was quite fun. And we had connections with most of the hacker groups and wares groups at that point. Again, that was vaguely fun because it was all into university stuff by this point. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think there'll be criminality.
I've only once been caught for anything, and that was only because, again, was because I admitted it to an arsehole.
Wait, then how? Why?
Why? Because because I did something that I thought was fun. So I told someone, and the problem is they took it the wrong way. We phoned up a network manager late at night and said that we were security and we were in the server room, and the servers looked like they were misbehaving. Now we had to hack to get the phone number. Okay, that's not the issue. The issue is they believed that we had access to the server room, which is secured in multiple ways. Okay.
You can't hack yourself into like the physical room.
This is the point. We phoned up claiming to be inside there, right? Right. So the point is that but all we had done was make a malicious phone call. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's why I thought it was. That's why we didn't really care about telling anyone. We told someone that fucking went straight to the network manager, who also happened to be my course tutor for the entire course and my fucking contact for the college. So, yeah, she was pissed. She was really pissed.
You think?
Not only that, right? They said because of what they thought we'd done, as opposed to what we'd actually done, they changed the locks on about 200 doors.
Holy fuck!
Because they thought we got access. The real kicker is, and again, I think I'm safe to reveal this now. The real kicker is, all the doors they changed the locks on. They kept the master key the same, and we did have a copy of the master key.
So you've been an evil motherfucker for about 60 years now, then.
Easily
going by your
word, motherfucker, for 60 years.
Yeah. I think I can say I don't think I've done anything malicious. That's not true.
No.
I've done malicious stuff against individuals. Usually people that lie about me. I don't mind people being particularly arseholes to me, but I really don't like it when people lie about me.
So stop telling people he likes dudes. He only likes to suck dick every day of the week that has a Y at the end. Get it right, people.
There was a hack called Teardrop. Again, I know it's nerdy. What Teardrop did was it sent fragmented packets to a computer, right? And you have a computer, very quickly you have a computer. If you send half a packet and tell it that there's another half coming, it waits for it. Okay, and there was a bug in Windows that took them forever to fix, that you send 20 or so packets telling it to wait, it crashes the network stack and crashes the computer. So for about 18 months, any Windows computer online, if you had its IP address, you could brick it, crash it. And on IRC, there was this arsehole that kept repeatedly lied to someone about me. So I had it on notify that whenever he came online, a teardrop attack would be sent to him. It would also be from his IP address. Because you spoof both ends of it. So it would be him attacking him, is how he would see it. And repeatedly he came to me, because I was the fucking tech person that knew everything, to ask what the hell was going on, because he had no clue. Every time he came online, his computer crashed. That's probably the most malicious thing I've done.
He deserved it, though.
I think he deserved it.
Okay. So we've got evil, malicious, whatever on that side. What is the nicest thing you've ever done with your powers?
Oh, I've done loads of things. Again, mostly stuff that people don't even think about. I set up a cybercafe for kids. Again, that was something that the police wanted to do. It was with the police. The police wanted to do it. They had absolutely no clue. I went in, ripped everything out, put it in, actually set it up. And that was my first year out. So it was after, because I had the police driving me around in a police car to come and get me because I was still recovering from the surgery. So I ran that for months, and even when I went back to university, I was logging in and running that remotely. I forgot all that. It's stupid thing. It's helping. I mean, I help people. At the end of the day, in the 24-hour labs, 9 times out of 10, that when if I wasn't causing someone to be stressful, I'd go over and ask them if they wanted a hand with something. I'd help them print. I'd help them fucking. I get bored. It's just people need help. I help them, and I don't
care. You could say it a million times that you do shit like that because you're bored, but it genuinely, Dave has a huge heart. So it's stupid, but he does.
I can give you an example actually of something that I do. I don't tend to subscribe to. There's a woman in the supermarket, and she dropped a bottle of ragu or something, pasta sauce, and it exploded everywhere. And everyone just stops and looks. And I just go over and say, "It's okay. Take your thing and carry on." And that's it. But she was just stuck. She was broken because she didn't know how to deal with it. And everyone else just kind of looks at her. And then it's just like, no one will do anything. And that bugs me quite a lot. The world got very weird when I got older, because it was very weird because people then expect you, and I think it's a problem of being a guy. As I got bigger, I mean, I'm 6'2". You try and help someone, and there's genuine fear. So I stopped.
Fear.
Yeah.
ha-
I stopped
what,
offering to
though?
help people carry bags, for example,
Yeah.
Okay.
because they think you're going to run off with them. They think you're trying to mug them. Things like that. But my attitude towards it is still to try and go over. If someone's looks like they're struggling with bags, is to go over and try and help the person struggling with bags. A few times I've got myself into trouble with that because they think there's no, and that bugs me about the fact that the world is in that situation.
I get shouted at for phoning an ambulance for a man passed out at the side of the street. I drove up the road on a main road and everybody was driving past it, and there's a man passed out at the side of the street with someone above them, and I pulled in at the bus depot excuse me, and phoned an ambulance and ran back up again on the fucking phone to them, giving them directions, and when I got there they shouted at me for phoning an ambulance. He was drunk and had passed out, fell over the curb. His friend was there helping. Didn't need the ambulance.
Well, I could see that in America only because it would probably bankrupt the dude for that. But
Man, I tell you, the other day I took a fucking drunk home. He was outside the front of a fucking shop, falling all over the place. The people in the shop didn't want to go near him, didn't want to help him, didn't want to do fuck all. I put him in the back seat of the car, and the silly bastard spilled crisps all over the fucking place.
I was gonna say, look where I got you. You got chips everywhere in your car.
The whole back seat of the car is covered with cheese crisps. It's a fucking disaster. It's a mess. Oh. At least he was at least he got home. Like.
He didn't puke. There's that.
No, he didn't puke, but he didn't put his fucking seatbelt on, and you know how I drive, and I went round a corner and he was in the passenger seat, and then his fucking head was in the driver's seat, or the driver's side door. He literally went across the back of the car, boom, into the fucking door. But anyway.
Okay, so
Dave
if
now
you
has
had...
an emoji. Dave has an emoji for all the members if you
Do I?
like. Yeah, Dave, you're a member. You can get your emoji now in the chat.
What the hell's my emoji?
If you had all the energy in the world, and what on one side would you do that was good with your powers, and on the other side, bad?
Say that again. Sorry, I was trying to find an emoji.
All the energy in the world.
Why, I don't understand why we ever stream with Dave. He pays more attention to the fucking chat. Regardless.
Go on.
If you weren't, a cripple, if you had all the energy in the world, what would you do with your powers for good and evil on both sides?
For good and evil. I don't know. I'm not a particularly good ideas person.
You can implement an idea, but coming up with one's difficult enough, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the problem is fucking with people is something I would do that was evil, but it's abstract.
It's a little broad brush there, but
I don't know. I mean, I think based on what's going on online now, if I had energy and will to do it, I would be attempting to fight the online. I would be attempting to do what the right are doing.
Mm-hmm.
I would be attempting to put out propaganda on the scale that they are.
Mainstream that shit.
Yeah.
which of the causes would you fight the most? The anti-trans, the anti-vax, all of it.
It's all coming from the same place.
I know, but still.
Did you see the article today? That came out basically. Oh my fucking! Most of the conspiracy stuff is being funded through organizations like Cock.
Wait, what? Say that again.
Most of conspiracy theories are being funded by Cock.
Yes,
that's what I heard.
Koch brothers.
Coke. Okay, see it. Okay, Coke brother, because one of those motherfuckers is dead.
Yeah,
but
Koch
that does not.
Brothers.
But the point is, I was trying to say it's an organization that is theirs.
I would have put Murdoch above Coke, but okay.
Well, the point is, I think they do different things. But in terms of the conspiracies with anti-vax, climate change, they're pretty much coming through organizations that are directly being funded by them. There was a thing I tweeted out earlier outlining the organizations that are doing it. I don't know if much went into the US side of it, but it did the organizations in the UK that are putting out the information and where they're getting their money from. And that's depressing as all hell. And the point is, you have to fight. The only way you can fight that is on the same scale. You can't refute it.
Mm-hmm. You have to be.
Yeah. All right. And this is the problem. This is where I don't think we are. I don't think the good guys in this fight, and I don't want to say that the left is necessarily good. Okay, because the left can be just as much arseholes as the right, but the right are worse. You can't fight them by just trying to refute constantly, and the amount of bullshit that they are putting out needs to be confronted by the same shit, by trying to blanket their message in just as ridiculous a way. Any thoughts on Smokey Saint's arrest for kid banging? Not really.
Not really. Yeah, arrest more people.
It's happened. I mean, I dug into it, and he was definitely arrested for it, but I can't find him being prosecuted, which means he's almost certainly got let off, which is almost certainly means the charges were dropped. That doesn't mean to say I don't for a second think he's capable of it.
Not worth
say again?
Say she's not worth mentioning.
No.
Thank you, though. Appreciate the $2. Very much do appreciate the $2. It all goes towards helping out.
I see. The thing is, I think I would have to go that. I would have to go. But the problem is that in its own right is an evil thing. I mean, this is the problem. Where my ethics lie on that is that the bad guys need to be beaten.
Uh-huh.
And the problem is I cannot, and literally cannot conceive of a way of beating the bad guys that either is not massive government overreach in terms of free speech, or confronting them directly with the same bullshit from another direction.
Well, that's it. I can't even remember the movie that it was in. One of the guys said he was an enforcer, a murderer, an assassin for a company, and it was, I'm doing this for the perfect society. And he was like, well, you know, what are you doing? And he was like, oh, I know I'm not going to be there. I'm doing this to create the society. There is no place there for me. No.
Oh, this is the problem. I give it the ethical question that I don't know whether I've particularly ever put on my show, which I probably should at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Which is it right for the government to kill somebody that you know is going to do harm to your society, to just kill them?
A lot of people would say yes, and I refuse to answer. That is Serenity. It is Bad-Tempered Badger. Thank you.
Right. The problem is, it's not. There's no good answer at the end of the day, because you do it. People sleep soundly, not knowing that you've done that. They are safe. Okay. The issue is, I don't think the problem you've got is you end up with this chain of things. If you had a government you could trust with everything, then that would be reasonable.
Doesn't exist.
That government does not exist.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the problem. If you turn around and say, yes, it's reasonable for the government to kill someone that's going to harm your society, then who gets to decide what the harm is? All of a sudden, you're knocking off gays because you're Christian and don't think that being gay is an abomination.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and this is the problem you have. But on an ethical question, if you're not willing to entertain killing someone to save millions, then I think you're a bit screwed up.
You see, that's the thing. Everybody will say that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, but then when you put it to them and you actually get to the point, it's a lot different as a mob mentality and a mindset of saying that than actually going forward and doing that. Especially the way that you've worded it, especially the way you've literally just, to a certain point of like, right, kill this one person, save everybody else. And if you're not willing to do that, you're fucked up.
Yeah.
People have a problem with it when you say it like that, though.
Hello?
Did this just become a
It became a trolley
question
problem.
on Dave's quiz?
Yeah.
Dave's trolley problem. Trolley problem.
Trolley.
Whatever that is. Trolley probleming us.
Trolley problem.
I saw the best trolley thing yesterday.
Yes.
Oh yeah, sure.
I have to find it. I know where it is. But basically, it was people imagine the trolley problem as this. You know, one person, a line, one person on one track, half a dozen people on the other track. Because that's not never how it's going to be. What it's going to be is going to be a trolley, one person on one track with a bag of money, a person at the lever with a bag of money, and 6 people on the off track with no money. That's going to be the trolley problem. So the point is, I think if you want to know one thing that has changed in the last 2 years is my opinion on society and democracy and what we should be aiming for in a society.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I think
so?
the aim should be least harm. To enable a government that can do the least harm, not go for ideals, but that prevents the most amount of harm.
Limit their power.
You limit their power. It's the one thing that can be truly said about democracy right now. Democracy is a terrible form of government. Okay, but it has prevented more harms than any other sort of government has appeared to in the past.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean to say always will. It's relatively new in the grand scheme of modern society.
He's usually drugged up.
Just read that. Dave, how do you keep from being angry all the time? People need to hear that answer. Well, there are several things. Firstly, I get angry a lot. I don't tend to. I don't tend to take it out on people. Don't see me angry because I'm not around if I'm angry. I mostly I forget. That mean my key to the thing is my memory doesn't work. I forget and I forget and I forget. It's why people can treat me like shit, and I will forget it, and I will move on because I have to. If people say I'm nice to them in chats, okay, I have to be nice.
Who they are?
There is I have like levels in my head as to how well I know people. Okay, and there are people that I am around enough that I can remember things about them. Most people are on a lower level that I remember little bits about them, but mostly I don't. So I have to be nice to them because otherwise I'd not be nice to anybody. Because I don't remember them. It's not even that I don't remember. Saying that I don't remember them is not. It's disingenuous because I do, to some degree. It's just I don't remember everything. I don't remember bad words. I don't remember the things that have been that they might have done to piss me off. I don't necessarily remember the nice things either. But I don't see a reason to be mean unless there's really something. I mean, I would say I do other quite a lot. That's not with people I know. Especially on Twitter. I do not respect people that I argue with on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Why would you?
You argue with me on Twitter.
No, as in not
I know.
others. Right. It's not that I won't respect them. It's not that I won't have a proper conversation with them. But most of them aren't interested in a proper conversation. I will not treat them like they are interested in a proper conversation at first. Now, occasionally that has got me into trouble. I will treat them as others, and I will be mean and I will be nasty.
It's understandable.
But as soon as if they in any way show that they are interested in an actual conversation rather than just fucking preaching or screaming or oppressing, I'll have a conversation with them. I have no problem having a conversation. I have no problem. I mean, there's a Christian woman that Sassy Heathen was arguing with, and she wrote a really snotty comment about atheists. And then I went in hard, and she came back really nasty as to how dare I respond to her like this? I'm just proving how. I said, if you want a conversation about this, I said, don't start attacking us and don't be a dick. And she blocked me. Right. Now, I just then went through and responded to every other person in her thread. The next day, she came back to me and says, I unblocked you. You seem reasonable. You can hold you'll have a conversation. Mm-hmm. I said, I mean, most times I treat people like they treat me.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if you are a dick to me, yeah, I will respond in kind. 90% of my funny tweets, my tweets that do well, okay, are literally repeating back what the person has said, but the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my key to Twitter. That's how I am successful on Twitter. Okay, I am sarcastic as all hell, and I repeat back what people say. And Junkshop. Oh, I thought Dave was the world's meanest asshole when we first met. Then I learned he actually was, and now I know what to expect. I mean, that was the one thing. Okay, the one thing we haven't talked about is the fact that I put a lot of effort into shilling.
A lot of what?
Effort into shilling.
Yeah.
Which has gone by the wayside with when I started quizzing, because I have this much limited brain power. If I'm not shilling, you can tell that my brain's fucked. And it's the same on Twitter. If people do tweets about their shows, even if I don't particularly think they're any good, as long as the tweet is good and I think it will attract people, I will retweet it, especially if they tag me in. I don't tend to notice them. I follow a ridiculous number of people.
I've seen your deck.
If people tag me in a response to their own tweets, as long as their tweets, I need to do a video. It's one of those videos that I've been meaning to make.
Teaching people to tweet.
Teaching people how to do a tweet for their show, because most people are terrible at it.
Yeah.
They don't realize how other people see their tweets. And I know I don't. It is rare that I will retweet something that I know will get that people will not respond to.
And we've done experiments on this. We've actually sat, I know a couple of different nights that we've sat here, and I've done tweets of a certain style, and Dave's retweeted it to see how many subs you can get from it back and forth. And then if Dave does it and I retweet it in a certain way and things like that, and it did make a difference. Like it really does. Mm-hmm. The idea of how fickle people are and how they look at things. It's.
I mean, I can give you some examples right now. Okay, just off the top of my head, Godless Granny. She tweets just her video and a list of names in the first tweet. Not one person that follows me is going to look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it doesn't say anything in the tweet itself as to what it is, and it's just a list of names. Yeah. You need a tweet that stands out on its own, so there should be no other names in it unless they're in the video in whatever it is you're shilling, and the names that you want, they come in subsequent tweets. The ones that you're asking to I can't even think of anyone else off the top of my head. Brian's are quite good, yeah.
Mine are half-assed.
I say yours are sometimes good. Depends how much effort you put.
Sometimes I'm half-assed. Yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing. Sometimes I do it. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm half-assed. I'm half-assed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as I say, it does show. We have done these experiments. You know, me and Dave would fuck about with these wee sort of things and stuff like that. This is fun to do and play. So, you know, we've been going for 75 minutes. So,
oh shit.
If anything, as Dave, while we're on this topic, if anything that anybody needs a hand with, the three of us on screen here, Manda's got an awful lot going on at the minute, but the moment still fucking helps people. You've got Dave, you've got me. If anybody needs anything, feel free to reach out to us. You know, we can help with the tech stuff. We're there to listen or anything.
I can't help with tech stuff, but I can help with anything. Huh?
And yeah, if anyone can, let me see if I've got the link here. Yeah, only if you can, folks. I know everything that's happening at the minute, but only if you can. For Manda, we did break, as I was looking earlier. Shush, shush. I know. You can fucking hide you want for
Stage show. Just
end the show, end the show. Doing really
End the
well.
show.
We've got a show here. Thursday we've got Tobin, and then on Friday we are going to attempt to stream for 24 bloody goddamn hours.
we are going to attempt. We're going to do it.
We are going to do it. It's going to happen across everyone else's channel, but I'm going to try and stream everything to here as a hub for 24 hours. So provided my computer doesn't overheat, I've got it raised up in bricks now to give it better circulation underneath and all, like, you know. So all going well, we'll have that going starting 10 UK, 5 Eastern Standard here on Friday. Definitely call round. We've got like 15, 16 creators. We're going from YouTube to Twitch, back and forth. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And yeah, lots of love for the community. Going back out to you. It really, really is, you know. Thanks everybody for everything that you do.
Yeah. I can't, you know, yeah. I hate emotions. Thank you. Thank you to Robbie for putting this together. Thank you to everybody that's helped and contributed anyway. Wasn't easy for me to ask for help. In fact, I didn't even, like, Robbie was just like,
She didn't speak to me for 14 hours. She literally didn't speak to me for 14 hours. She was like, fuck you, and vanished for 14 hours. Didn't.
But yeah, you know, we're going to do this, and my son and I will finally be free and safe, and that means everything to me. So thank you, everybody. Really, Steve just bounces higher and higher.
Yeah, and we'll see how it goes on the night as well. As the night progresses and the donations go up, we might break out the razor, and we'll see how it goes with the beard. We'll maybe do that, give a wee bit of an incentive, anything we can do. Anybody's got any ideas, wants to join in, reach out to me, tweet me. We've got panels going. Panels going to need people to be filled, so if you're free.
And Junkshop and Julie will be giving gifts away too.
Oh, there you go. Party prizes at Junkshop and Julie's. So yeah, definitely come around. It's going to be fun. Definitely going to be fun. So on that note, I will shout over to the Patreon video. I will say thank you all for everybody that does contribute to the channel. But yeah, other than that, people, think for yourselves. Dave's an asshole.